Hey guys, we visited Mount of Olive and the tomb of Virgin Mary. Mount of Olive it's a bit to my left, and at the end of Kidron Valley lies the church of tomb of Virgin Mary. I think on the Mount of Olive I said that we commemorate the ascension of Virgin Mary in August 25th. My mistake, it's in August 15. And we celebrate the birth of Virgin Mary in September 8th. So today we're going to go through the entire Via Dolorosa, or the way of pain, or the way of sorrow, and we're going to start from here, from the Lion's Gate. This is a gate on the northeast side of the city. This gate was built also during the rule of Suleiman the Magnificent, and it's called the Lion Gate because it has two pairs of lions on each side of the gate. Well, they are not lions, they are leopards, and some says that Via Dolorosa starts here, but actually it starts where the Roman Forum is, but until there is a bit of walk. I decided to start it from here because from here over there is also the church dedicated to the place of birth of Virgin Mary, which I said that we celebrate in September 8th. So let's start. It's about there are about at least 600 meters up to the Holy Sepulchre, because we're going to see the entire Via Dolorosa starting from this point. So patient and let's go. Well, now we are entering actually in the Muslim quarter. It is the biggest quarter of Jerusalem, and as I said, we're going to visit first the birthplace of Virgin Mary. It's a very narrow space. But most of the buildings back then were in caves. So it is believed that that's the place where Virgin Mary came on this earth. Kim were her parents. So, as I said, we are in a Muslim quarter. It's the biggest one in Jerusalem. It occupies about 64% of the entire city, the old city. Via Dolorosa starts here in the Muslim quarter and ends in the Christian quarter, where the Holy Church of Holy Sepulchre stands. And we have 14 stations. These 14 stations are marked as places where Jesus Christ, on his way towards Golgotha, or the heel of the skull, as the Hebrews are calling it, stopped. Not all of them are recognized by the church. Most of them are only in Christian tradition, but nevertheless we're going to see them. It's early in the morning, not so many people, but usually the best times to walk through this narrow streets of Jerusalem are early in the morning and late in the afternoon. So this is the place where the Roman Forum used to be, and the first two stations are marked by the encounter of Jesus Christ with Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor. So lots of churches have been erected here, like the Church of Flagellation, the Church of Condemnation, Ecce Homo Church. First we're going to see the Church of Flagellation, which is quite a beautiful church because it has an exquisite dome. You can see the crown of thorns on the dome with beautiful, pierced by stars. And beautiful stained glass, which depicts episodes of Christ's flagellation. Over there is the Church of Condemnation. In front, over the Via Dolorosa, you can see an arch. It is called Ecce Homo Arch. It's part of today's Basilica of Ecce Homo. And it is believed that is and was the place of condemnation of Jesus Christ, and from Pontius Pilate. Let's see if you can visit also this inscription is interesting in Latin. Why do we pass through here? Let's stop and see and feel the pain of you can see also the arches, the old Roman arches. We have to understand that the level of the city today, it's much higher than it used to be. So most of the Roman construction are actually deep underground. So now we're going to visit the prison of Christ. And not only of Christ, but also of the thieves and the prison of Barabbas. So it is believed that here was the prison of Barabbas and the thieves that eventually, with the exception of Barabbas, ended up on the cross next to Jesus. Also a very narrow place. There are many suppositions about where the prison of Christ was. Some says that it was on Zion Mountain, others inside the Church of Holy Sepulchre. But if the Roman Forum was here, then here should have been the prison of Christ. So the first and the second stop were at the Roman Forum and are the ones that reveal the flagellation and condemnation of Jesus Christ. And we are going towards the third and the fourth stops of Jesus. Here we have the next two stops. They are represented by this type of signs. So we have the third stop, is the first stumble or the first fall of Jesus. Well, none of the stumbles or the falls are accepted by the church. And there's a church dedicated to this event. The fourth one, it's here. It is said that Jesus met his mother, Virgin Mary, here, and is depicted in this half a medallion on the entrance of an Armenian Polish chapel. This chapel was erected with the help of Polish army, with funds given by the Polish army. The fifth stop is right there and represents the stop where Simon of Cyrene helped Jesus to carry his cross for a while.
Who asks for a drink, pomegranate juice, passion fruit, ice coffee, orange juice?
That's a rock that people believe that probably Jesus purchased at one point.
Somebody like to buy price shawl?
We need to buy bag, 2 for $5. No money, no honey.
I love your money.
Oh, that's cute. It's your onesie.
One important stop, especially in Roman Catholic belief, is the sixth stop, in which it is right here under this arch in front of us. But it is said that there was a saint, Veronica, Vero, in Italian means truth. And over here, Veronica, with a veil, wiped the face of Jesus of blood and sweat, and the image of Jesus imprinted on the veil. Well, it's something different than the Shroud of Turin, but it's an accepted supposition, at least for the Catholics. The seventh station is dedicated to the second fall of Jesus. Over there on this street ahead, about 50, 70 meters, is the 8th station. It is believed that over there Jesus was stopped by the pious women of Jerusalem and he was allowed to give a last sermon to them. And now we are approaching to the Holy Sepulchre, but obviously today the roads are different than it used to be. And I am going to take the shortest road. So after the 8th station, there's a 9th station, really close to the Holy Sepulchre. It is said that over there he fell for the second time, the third time, the last time, the third time. And also the 10th station is where he was stripped of his garments. And the last 4 are inside the Church of Holy Sepulchre. And we're going to talk about them later inside the church. Well, you're going to see in Jerusalem and all over the Israel cameras like this. They're all over the place. It is said there is a theory of conspiration that when you enter in this country, they give you a code, and from that point on, from the first step inside the country, they will know where you are all the time. So they are mark you as a cattle, or like in Auschwitz, and they know everything about where you've been. This is a beautiful church here on the right, dedicated to the Nevsky Church, the Russian church in exile. And now we are going to this 10th station. It's right here at the entrance in the courtyard of the Church of Holy Sepulchre. It is a narrow entrance, unfortunately, as you can see. The big brother is watching. So this is the enter in the Church of Holy Sepulchre. There were 2 doors at one point. Only the one on the left side today is used for entering and exiting the church. There's also a beautiful cross over there. It's symbolizing the unity of churches, actually. But I don't know if that's the case. And That's the church that was built during the Crusaders. So inside there are the last 4 stations, and we talk about the nail on the cross of Jesus, the crucifixion itself, the anointing of the body, and obviously the last laying the body in the tomb. In the next episode we're going to see the church inside with the tomb and the other important religious places. So see you inside.